What's up, mofos? Today we making one pot oxtail. The star of the show is not even the oxtail, it's the pot. You need a Dutch oven. If you want that Uber Eats juicy oxtail from Brooklyn, if you want that oxtail from the Golden Crust where you asking for more sauce and they don't got no more, you gotta pay for it. You need a Dutch oven. My oxtail life changed. Yes, the life of the oxtail changed when I got a Dutch oven. I don't like cooking oxtail on the stove. That's a special skill, and it takes a lot of watching in that pan. I got the pan too. We got the pan, the silver pan. I used to cook my oxtail in a crock pot. I would throw it in there with all the ingredients until it got tender, soft, falling off the bone. That would take hours and hours and hours and hours. This, I don't know what they did when they made this. It's heavy. It's heavy. And when you're done cleaning, it's a lot of cleaning you gotta do. Just letting you know that you're not gonna spend all your time cooking. You're gonna spend all your time cleaning this. This, I can't even lift it up. It's so heavy. This, well, it technically is a crock pot. Crock pot Dutch oven. You put it in the oven. Not as many hours as a crock pot that you plug into the wall. And yeah, I make oxtail so many times. I binge eat oxtail. I love oxtail, okay? I love oxtail. I love oxtail. So let me show you what I got here. The star of the show is really the pot. You could put anything in this oxtail and it's gonna cook every time. It's foolproof, lazy oxtail. All right, so this is what we cooking with today. We got maduro. If you know, you know, plantains. Frozen. These are real good, especially when you put them in the oven. I got the sliced up peppers with the onions because I didn't feel like doing that. I got a nice little pack of oxtail, $30 pack. I got the big bones. Racarito sofrito. The Dutch oven, the big boy. I do now. I put little potatoes. I cut up potatoes and I throw it in there with the oxtail. I feel like it adds a little bit more thickness and it also tastes good when it soaks in with all the juices. I use garlic and herb butter. So this is the what brand is this again? I forgot. I was using it yesterday when I made a salad. But garlic butter, it doesn't matter the brand. Thyme, bay leaves, beef bouillon, parsley, browning. I used to get the other browning, but I wanted to try this one. We got the butter beans, major key. Jasmine rice, adobo, sazon, beef broth, garlic. If you do get broth, try to get something with low sodium so it's not super salty. And cabbage. I'll show y'all when I'm done what it's gonna look like. But you could put whatever seasonings you want. These are the main ones. I know some people put ketchup. Sometimes I put ketchup in there. Sometimes I don't. It depends on how I'm feeling. So, yeah. Fresh oxtail, I used that before, but frozen oxtail is just as good in the pot. So, yes, foolproof meal. This meal is about $50, $60. So, you want to hear something even crazier? I don't thaw out the meat, none of that stuff. I wash it a little bit, like I do clean it or whatever, and then I throw it in the pot. So this doesn't require a long thawing and stuff like that. I feel like when you go towards the thawing, well, at least me, that's when you could make the meat rancid if you're not doing it correctly. You know, there's a lot of stuff going around about people getting sick with food that they left out and stuff. So I don't really want to do all that. I'm just straight cooking it. You cook it up. Wash it, clean it, throw it in there, cook it up. I don't got time for no listeria, hysteria. I don't like none of that. No undercook, overcook, it grew bacteria. No thanks. Cook that thing. Now listen, I didn't say don't clean the oxtail. I said I don't let it thaw. We clean the oxtail, okay? It's gonna be cooking perfectly in that pot. Okay, I got a glass bowl just so y'all can see that. Look at that. Mmm. Ooh. Ooh. I might run it a little through the ringer again. Hold on. You do gotta clean oxtail because I don't know what they be doing with it. When I clean it off, it be little things coming off, so clean that me. The little thing coming off, like where you cut this on the floor. Sorry. All right, the oxtail in the bowl, but we're gonna bring this pot over here. All right, so in no type of order, you can do this whatever order you want. I'm putting peppers, some peppers at the bottom. Peppers, pepper big. We put in some peppers, some onions at the base. Now when you put your liquids in, the stuff can move around anyway. But I like to make sure I at least try and put it at the bottom first. Get them flavors, honey. Then oxtail. Let me throw the oxtails in this jar. Now we got the oxtails in here. All right, we put some garlic. Pour some of that garlic juice in there. We need a spoon. Spoon some garlic in there. Right? A little bit of adobo. Now with seasoning, while I'm cooking, I go back in and add some more because I don't want it to be too much of anything. Too salty, too nothing, too, you know what I'm saying? Thyme, I love this thyme because it's little thyme particles, right? So you don't overdo it with the thyme because the thyme and the bay leaves could really take over your meal. That's the coffee brewing in the background. Too much thyme, too much browning, and too much bay leaves can take over your oxtail. And not in a good way. So we got the bay leaves. I like to put like one in there. That one's kind of broken. I probably should just put a whole one, a whole bay leaf. Take this one out. To be honest, I just like how parsley looks. All right, browning. You don't want to put too much browning because too much browning can make your oxtail taste like If you know, you know. Or maybe that's just me. Too much. I definitely made oxtail with too much browning before in the beginning. I finally got the browning open. It was so hard to open. Just a little bit. Ooh, this is liquidy. It's not as thick as the other one. Okay. That much browning, not a lot, a little bit. If you need to add more, you go back and add more. You don't put a lot in the beginning. Okay, you don't put a lot in the beginning. All right, sofrito. 3 spoonfuls. Okay. All right, rock it up. Same with this. I let it sit out because it was frozen yesterday. Beef broth. Now, when it comes to the liquid, you can just use water and season the water. Really, same thing. But beef broth, If you can, I would put half of the beef broth and then half raw water because you want to cover the oxtail. I like to make sure the oxtail is covered in water. The Dutch oven sucks up all the water, so you need to make sure enough water is in there. Sazon. I'm not putting ketchup this time because I had an allergic reaction the other day. And I was like, I am not trying it today. No, I'll be trying it. Alright, we got one of these beef bouillon cubes. I'm going to put one in before I add my water. Then I'll show you my oxtail. This is a big cube. This is a different cube from the one I usually get too. But when you add that water, I think you should season how you season. I feel like people in general season food how they season everything. Like the way I season oxtail is kind of how I season other things I cook. Not my eggs and stuff. I don't do all that egg season. Oh, I'm putting some garlic butter. Not too much though. I don't want no acid reflux. Just a little to taste. Just a little to taste. A little to taste, honey. All right, we're gonna put water. We need a little more. To there. Let me show you. I'm gonna show you in a second. Let me just put some more peppers in there. Peppers. I gotta cut my potatoes too. I didn't even do that. Crazy. Oh, I love the veggies. I love the veggies. Especially when they get like all soft. I love when it gets all soft in there. We got potatoes. The potatoes you don't have to do, but I do. You can absolutely skip the potatoes. But ooh, I made like a big pack of oxtail and I put the little potatoes in it. The potato tastes good. I don't know, it just made it more fulfilling. I like little, cut it little. I think that's enough potatoes after this. Because these are little potatoes. This is what it looks like right now. So I'm gonna let the oxtail cook and absorb the water. Then I'm gonna put the beans in, okay? Because this water and broth is gonna disappear, especially with the Dutch oven. Because with this cover, nothing leaves this pot. All right, I'm putting the oven on 350. 350 for slow cooking. And then like an hour or two, I'm gonna come back and put the beans. Plantains and all that, I cook that later when the oxtail's done because those things only take a couple minutes. Okay, we are an hour into the oxtail. Okay, now the Dutch oven is a little too heavy to be checking every all the time. That's why I leave it in there. But I'm gonna, just for the sake of this video, we're gonna go all out. Like this pot gets really hot and heavy and dangerous. The top, you cannot touch it. Okay. The top you can't touch. You cannot touch this without good gloves. But yeah. All right, you can see. Hold on. Okay, you see the oxtail is starting to cook. Still tough though. So this is it so far. Now I can add in the beans. It's already falling off the bone. Now I can let it cook and cook and cook. And cook and cook. All right, y'all, I'm back. I left, so I turned the oven off, whatever. I'm trying something new today. I'm putting the plantains in the deep fryer. The air fryer. Forgive me, I was driving. I put the plantains in the air fryer. I want to see if they're gonna come out crispy and yummy, yum, yum, yum. And then I'm gonna put some of the rice in the I have a cute little rice cooker. Hold on, let me show you. I got this little cute rice cooker from Walmart. And since it's just me eating today, I'll make me a cute little batch of rice. And then I'll just make a fresh batch of rice every time. Gotta wash the rice too. I like to measure it out before I wash the rice. Woo! I hate when rice falls on the floor. All right, rice is nice and washed. That's a tongue twister. I was about to say rice and washed. I don't know what I was about to say, but I felt it coming out tongue twisted. We're gonna put this on and let it cook. Ooh, look at that. Perfection. I ran it through like 15 minutes. I did a little longer than the pack said because I like mine crispy and soft. Ooh, just like this. Perfection. All right, y'all. The oxtail is covering the rice. See the potatoes? I like to cook them till they're like, you could tell they absorb the juice. Look at the oxtail. It fell off the bone. Look. It fell off. I'm going to have to go back in there and get some more of the meat. That's the cabbage right there. And the plantains. Got a little oxtail juice on it. Yes. Ooh. Okay, I was jump scared, right? I was just on a FaceTime with my mother. She's like, you're gonna just eat with a face mask on? Yes, I'm hungry. I passed by so many places to drive back, and I was like, no, the oxtail. I want to eat my oxtail. You know when something's gonna be good, and you're like, no, I don't want Wendy's chicken nuggets. I want oxtail. It's so soft. You don't even have to chew it. And the gravy and the rice, perfect. That rice cooker always make the perfect amount of rice. The cabbage has a crunch to it. Sweet plantain. I usually break it up and eat it with the oxtail. Let's see. Dang, look, I didn't even have to grab it too hard. This is how all the oxtails look. I gotta find it. Look, it can't even stay on the fork. When I first started making oxtail, I used to think it was all about the ingredients, which it kind of, yeah, of course, that's a part of the recipe. But what you cook it in really makes and breaks it. The pot, you know for sure it's going to be cooked in that thing. That pot gets so hot. Be very careful if you use a Dutch oven. It was burning the gloves I was using. I was like, what the hell? The potatoes. So it's kind of funny that I actually like the yellow potatoes or the gold potatoes, whatever they called, for the oxtail. The gold potatoes absorb more. But I don't like the gold potatoes for mashed potatoes. Look at this. You see that? You see that, babe? You see that? It's a little bitty, little teeny oxtail. Honestly, I love ordering oxtail from restaurants in Brooklyn. But it's nothing like, well, actually, it's nothing like a oxtail from a restaurant and it slaps. That's always the best. When you get oxtail from a restaurant and it's so good. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But when you can make your own oxtail, you see the beans are in there. I should have showed y'all the pot. So remember I put like the broth in the water. That water was all the way down. And I put the beans in there with the bean juice. It was all the way down. And I'm like, see? This is why you got to put a lot of water. Because, not a lot, but you know, enough. Look at the meat. Look, the meat is just in a ring right here. Look. Look. I feel like that guy where he picked up the meat and it's just falling off. Yo, I really feel like that guy that went viral, that he's always dropping the meat. The Dutch oven changed my life. I never went back. Do you eat the fat of the oxtail? Some people do. I'm not a huge fan of the fat, but I'm gonna try it right now. I actually don't like the fat of oxtail, but today it's slapping. This is the one. Oxtail always come out different every time. In a good way. My recipe get a little better every time. This was everything I dreamed of. You know, you have a taste for something and then you actually make it and you kind of like, yeah, that's what I was imagining. This is the one in the pack. And I only find this one at Food Bazaar. I never find it at the other supermarkets. This plantain, this is the best one. I know they have the Goya one that come in a little cardboard box. No, that one is good too. That one is good too. But this one in that package, to me, tastes the most like when my mother makes plantains. Thanks for watching this video. This is a foolproof oxtail falling off the bone. You saw it yourself at home while you're doing stuff, clean or whatever, and leave the oxtail in the Dutch open and don't touch it. This is what this is. Okay, and put whatever ingredients you want. Put the ketchup, don't put the ketchup. Put a bay leaf, don't put a bay leaf. Put the thyme, don't put the thyme. Have a good time in a short time. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Look at that. I didn't even mix it. It's just sitting. Look at that. There we go. We mixed it a little. Look at that. See the potato slap. That's the recipe. Boom, the cabbage though. Yes. Packing it up. Packing everything up, you know. All right, you see that? Look at that, falling apart already. Be very careful when you're using that pot. Because I feel like I'm recommending it. And I wouldn't need to get hurt. Like, what? Be prepared for that, okay? Be prepared.